regular Ames District Board meeting, a Zoom meeting to order. And I would ask for a motion to approve the agenda.
I approve the agenda as is, please.
Okay, we have a motion to approve the agenda. Do we have a second? We have a second by trustee, Peterson. I'll have a roll call vote on these, please, since we're doing it Zoom. Apologize, I know it takes time, but we need a documentation. So Carrie, if you would conduct the vote, please.
Yes. Trustee Powell?
Yes.
Trustee O'Hara? Trustee Peterson? Oh, I think
I'm here.
he's back in a sec.
I had to get the dog out.
Okay, we need your vote, Ray.
Aye.
Okay, thank you.
Trustee Wendell?
Aye.
And Chair Oxiger?
Aye.
Thank you.
No, thank you. Okay, the agenda is approved. Need a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
We have a motion by trustee Hout. We have a second by trustee Peterson. Carrie, if you do a roll call vote, please.
Trustee Hout?
Aye.
Trustee O'Hara? Trustee Peterson?
Aye.
Trustee Wendell?
Aye.
Chair Oxiger?
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you for that. The motion carries. The consent agenda is approved. Next is public comment. We encourage the general public to provide comments directly to related to the business and operations of the college and to give input. But we ask that you, during these virtual meetings and during the pandemic, address your comments to the Board of Trustees at ames.edu. Those comments are monitored and any comments are forwarded through our liaison to the Board of Trustees. So if you would please do that, and that again, that email address is boardofTrustees@ames.edu, and it's posted on our website. Next is presentation from guests and representatives to the board. And I think we're doing all of these virtual today. So first up is Excellence at Ames with Foundation Director Kelly Jackson. And correct me if I'm wrong, was this not canceled due to illness?
Correct, Chair Oxiger. It is canceled due to illness.
Okay, thank you for that confirmation. Next is representatives into the board, Student Government Association, Alicia.
Thank you and good morning. Can everyone hear me?
Yep.
I can hear you fine.
Awesome. Well, as the semester comes to a close, all students are working on finals and trying to end the semester with a big bang. The Student Government Association has been making good progress with the Technology Resource Initiative, increasing access to technology, accessories like webcams, headsets, and power banks, through direct giveaways and adding resources in the Learning Commons on each campus. Our Vice President of Facilities and Operations, Terry Adams, and the Vice President of Academic Affairs, Ashley Edison, have been working diligently to make sure that this is ready for the spring semester. We have made great progress getting communications out via social media to students about the move from the College Center to Artysboro, and plan to continue this work when students return in the spring. Not much more. We're really excited for the next semester. So just would like to say thank you for all the board members' support and continuing collaboration with the Student Government Association, campus activity programmers, and for prioritizing student needs in your decision-making during these difficult times. So again, thank you.
All right, Thank you.
Well, thank you, Alicia. We appreciate you all and all you do. Thank you for that report. Next is Ames Faculty Association, Mr. Moody.
Good afternoon, Chair Oshinger, Dr. Bornstein, and members of the board. For our faculty accomplishments, I just want to start off first saying our faculty have been working very hard through these difficult times and adjustments with the pandemic. Even with recent adjustments, they continue to work very hard for our students. And with that, a lot of our faculty actually earn a lot of ripples from our students. Okay, if you look in your packets, you'll see we have a lot of some of the ripples that they earned. I'm not going to read them all word for word, but I do want to highlight that Professor LaFleur earned seven ripples alone from students, and that's just one of them there. So yeah, really, really, really amazing. And then instructor Professor Dan Van Der of mathematics earned 6 ripples alone too, and then Professor Department Chair of Medical Assisting Sydney Walker earned 2 ripples. So a lot of our faculty have been earning ripples and just showing how their dedication to the students. And I'll highlight 2 of them that really stand out. I would say Professor James Stone of geology. He pretty much it said he's an awesome teacher. He takes his time to explain things to ensure we all understand. He's open to answering questions. Really cares about his students. And then just another one, Professor Dan Sisson of Automotive Services Technology earned a ripple, and he pretty much says he goes beyond helping his students out. Great personality and always a pleasure to talk with. So faculty are definitely working hard, and these ripples is just a small showing of what our faculty have done this semester. And we're definitely getting ready for the spring to again serve the needs for our students here at Ames.
Okay, wonderful. Well, thank you for that report. Any questions of Mr. Moody?
Good report.
Okay, well, thank you, Mark.
Thank you. Appreciate
it very much. Next is Ames Staff Association, Jen Seedorf.
Good afternoon, Chair Oxiger, trustee members, and Dr. B. It's nice to be with you this afternoon. I, like the others, have a short and sweet report for you today, as I think our staff are winding down and looking forward to some rest over the winter break. As Mark just pointed out, you have the Ripples and Recognition report available to you. And again, there's no shortage of faculty, staff, and students going above and beyond. And of course, their colleagues are very willing to continue shouting out these accolades. Today, I just wanted to share a short nomination of actually a student worker, because I think it's fun to see students recognized outside their normal studently responsibilities and kind of crossing over into a staff responsibility. Today, I wanted to share Anthony Martinez's nomination, who is a student worker on the Fort Lupton campus. He was nominated by Julie Lukenge, Executive Director at the Fort Lupton campus. Anthony is an outstanding work study and always goes above and beyond in his role. In particular, Anthony loves to volunteer to help out with events. On October 31st, the city of Fort Lupton held a fun and safe trick-or-treat event. Anthony asked if he could come by after work and help hand out candy. He arrived and stayed until the event was over, making sure all the kids got a special pumpkin bag. He remained fun, interactive, and welcomed each car. What a great example of our Ames students. Thank you, Anthony. And finally, on behalf of the staff, I just wanted to again thank the board for the gratitude leave, thank Dr. B for the additional holiday leave, and above all, I just wanted to thank you for your unwavering support and encouragement of all of us as we've navigated this year. So I wish you all very happy holidays and look forward to seeing you again in January. Thank you.
Well, thank you,
Thank you.
Jen.
Happy holiday.
Any questions of Jen?
No, I was just wishing you a happy holiday. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I really
you for
like
that, Heidi.
it where I see a student honored as a worker. What a ripples. Nice. Very, very appropriate. And happy holidays too.
Thank you all.
Okay, well, thank you all, and thank you for the reports. And on behalf of the Board of Trustees, I think I can speak for all of them in wishing all of you a very, very happy holidays, and please be safe out there. Next up on the agenda is action items. Action item A, a resolution to authorize the negotiation and sale of certain real estate. Mr. Jensen.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, Dr. Bornstein, you have before you action item 6A, a resolution to authorize the negotiation sale of certain real estate. And this feeds back into the conversation we've had regarding our property at the Weld Greeley or Greeley Weld County Airport. Again, you know, historic perspective on that. We removed our flight ops, vacated the building in 2019. Have determined, of course, that there's no foreseeable academic or operational use of that facility. So we are recommending to the board that we dispose of this property. And with the board's permission and resolution, then we would move towards selling that property. So that's the administrative recommendation, is to for the board to approve the resolution to negotiate and sell real estate located at 656 Ed Beagles Drive, Greeley, Colorado.
Thank you for that, Chuck. Any questions of Mr. Jensen?
Mr. Chairman, I would move that we approve action item 6A.
We have
I
a
would
motion to approve action item 6A by trustee Peterson,
I would second that motion.
and we have a second to the motion by trustee Wendell. Any other discussion? Hearing none, I would ask Carrie to conduct a roll call vote, please.
Trustee Howe,
aye,
trustee O'Hara. Trustee O'Hara, I think you're on mute.
He might be muted. I know he's up there on the screen.
Okay, can you hear me?
There you
we
go.
can.
Hey, now we
Okay.
can.
I vote aye.
Thank you. Trustee Peterson,
Aye.
trustee Wendell,
Aye.
Chair Oxiger.
And I vote aye.
Thank you.
Thank you, and that motion carries.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Next on the agenda is action item 6B, Board of Trustees meeting retreat dates for 2021. Carrie, I'll turn the meeting over to you.
Okay, thank you. Trustees, in your packet, you have the proposed meeting and retreat dates for 2021. The dates remain on the second Wednesday of the month as reviewed at the November 11th meeting, with the exception of the December meeting, which will be held on December 15th due to the mill levy certification. And once again, thank you for pointing that out, Trustee Peterson. Meetings will be held on each campus as well as the Flight Training Center. Meeting dates and locations will be posted on the board's webpage and are subject to change with notification depending on the pandemic and or other situations that may arise. May I answer any questions for you?
Any questions of Carrie on the dates? I want to thank trustee Peterson again for catching the meeting date for setting the rates. So that worked out well. Well, if there's no questions of Carrie, I would ask for a motion on item 6B.
I would move approval of action item 6B.
We have a motion by trustee O'Hara on 6B to approve.
I would second, Mr. Chairman.
And Dr. Peterson has seconded. Carrie, would you conduct a roll call vote, please?
Yes. Trustee Howe,
aye,
trustee O'Hara,
Aye.
trustee Peterson,
Aye.
trustee Wendell,
Aye.
Chair Oxiger.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. And that motion carries. Okay. Action item 6C. Sabbatical request for, is it Shelley Castillo? Dr. Russ Rotharmer.
Thank you, John Zager, members of the board, Dr. Bornstein. Thank you for the opportunity to share these sabbatical requests with you. As we didn't have a sabbatical request last year, I'd like to take a brief moment to give an overview of the process that's used to get us to this point. And this certainly applies for each of the four following action items. So Ames has long afforded our qualified and experienced full-time faculty to refresh their teaching and learning toolbox via focused professional development during sabbatical leave, which usually consists of either one semester or 2 semesters in length. The process by which faculty are granted this sabbatical leave is conscientious and thorough, taking into account the value to the college in addition to the benefit to our faculty. A committee of faculty members who previously completed a sabbatical, chaired by an academic dean, consider applications submitted by faculty who have successfully completed a minimum of 6 academic years. Interested faculty submit their sabbatical plan, which details how their activities result in their professional growth, how it will increase their overall knowledge in their area of expertise, how their students' experience will be enhanced, how the college will benefit, and finally, how the sabbatical goals align with Ames goals and values. So with the support of the faculty's chair and the faculty's dean, the committee recommends up to 4 faculty to move forward in the approval process. At that point, the chief academic officer, as well as the chief financial officer, measure the impact and benefit to the college, then forward the committee's recommendations to the CEO president, and then finally to the Board of Trustees for final approval. Following the sabbatical leave, faculty are to report out to the Board of Trustees, to the Faculty Association or faculty groups, as well as interested students on their lessons learned from the sabbatical. This longstanding investment in our faculty's professional development encourages ongoing growth as well as innovation. The research topics that I'm presenting to you this afternoon are sufficiently unique and differentiate themselves from one another that the return on this investment in our faculty will pay dividends across the educational spectrum at Ames. Additionally, and most importantly, where we've had a few faculty in the past interested in taking a sabbatical, the committee was excited to be able to support such a group this year who are passionate about the research proposals and how they might better serve Ames. The Sabbatical Review Committee has met to assess this year's sabbatical leave applications for the 2022 academic year and is pleased to enthusiastically recommend the following sabbaticals. So for action item 6C, our administrative recommendation is to approve a sabbatical for Shelley Costello from Arts and Sciences for the academic year 21-22 to research and develop a robust infrastructure to support application of Ames online writing lab across academic disciplines.
Lyle, I think you're muted.
Yeah, I was muted. Sorry. Any questions of Dr. Rotharmer? I found this one, request unique. I think that it would be interesting to hear about this research project since it addresses so many different disciplines. Any other comments or questions? If not, I would certainly entertain a motion to approve this request.
I would like to motion to approve the request. Is it 6D?
6C.
C?
C is in Charles.
I would like to motion to approve this, and I'm excited to see anyone that's improving writing for anyone, I'm in agreement to.
Absolutely.
Second,
Okay, we have a motion to approve,
second.
and we have a second by Dr. Peterson.
No, Gene.
Oh, that was Jean. I'm sorry. Sorry, Carrie.
It's okay.
Okay. Could we have a roll call vote, please?
Trustee Howe,
aye,
Trustee O'Hara,
Aye.
Trustee Peterson,
Aye.
Trustee Wendell,
Aye.
Chair Oxiger.
Aye. Okay, that request is approved. Congratulations, Shelley.
Mhm.
Next is Lori Hatchell's sabbatical request from Dr. Rothamer.
Thank you,
Please
Chair Oxiger. For action item 6D, our administrative recommendation is to approve a sabbatical for Lori Hatchell from Business and Technology for fall 2021 to research current business accounting industry operations in order to infuse relevant applicable business practices in Ames accounting curricula.
I like that.
Okay. Are there any questions of Dr. Rothamer for the request by Lori? Again, we'll look forward to hearing.
Mr.
from,
Chairman, I'm sorry. I would move that we approve the sabbatical for Lori Hatchell. And I really think this is an excellent move to incorporate business kinds of accounting into the curriculum. Sure does make sense to me.
Mhm.
Thank you, Dr. Peterson. And we have a motion from you to approve. Do we have a second?
Second.
I second.
I heard Heidi. Did I hear correct?
yeah,
Okay, we'll go with Heidi. We have a second by Heidi. Carrie, would you conduct a roll call vote, please?
Trustee Howe,
aye,
Trustee O'Hara,
Aye.
Trustee Peterson,
Aye.
Trustee Wendell,
Aye.
Chair Oxiger.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. That request is approved. Congratulations, Lori. Good luck on your research. Next, Dr. Rothamer is 6E, Jennifer Ridgway.
Thank you, Chair Oxiger. For action item E, our administrative recommendation is to approve a sabbatical for Jennifer Ridgway from Arts and Sciences for the academic year 21-22 to research academic literacy as it relates to models of college reading programs and students' ability to access and acquire them.
Interesting. Okay. Do I have a motion to approve the request for Jennifer Ridgway?
I would so move.
We have a motion to approve by Trustee O'Hara. We
I
have a
would second that, Mr. Chairman.
And we have a second by Dr. Peterson. Carrie, would you conduct a roll call vote, please?
Trustee Howe,
aye,
Trustee O'Hara,
Aye.
Trustee Peterson,
Aye.
Trustee Wendell,
Aye.
Chair Oxiger.
Aye. Okay, thank you, Carrie. And that request is approved. Congratulations, Jennifer. Enjoy your project. And last is, but not least, item 6F, Rebecca Saylor, sabbatical request. Dr. Rothamer?
Thank you, Chair Oxiger. Our administrative recommendation is to approve a sabbatical for Rebecca Saylor from Arts and Sciences for spring 2022 to research humanities studies and multicultural pedagogy in order to develop more relevant courses in early civilizations and world mythology for Ames students.
Okay.
I would like to motion that we approve this number 6F, and I'd be excited to hear what she finds out. That
Absolutely.
intrigues me. Mhm.
Okay, we have a motion to approve by trustee Wendell. Do we have a second?
second,
And we have a second by trustee Hout. Carrie, would you conduct a roll call vote, please?
Trustee Howe,
aye,
Trustee O'Hara,
Aye.
Trustee Peterson,
Aye.
Trustee Wendell,
Aye.
and Chair Oxiger.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Carrie. And that request is approved for Rebecca Saylor. Good luck on your project, Rebecca. We'll look forward to hearing from you. Okay, that concludes rather the action items for today. Next up, item 7, information items. And first of all, I want to say I got a letter that outlines, in fact, we should have all got the letter that addresses the partnership between Ames Community College, Adams 12 5-star schools, and the city leaders of Thornton and Westminster, praising the program that has been set up, the firefighter program that has been set up in that strategic partnership. Speaks very, very highly of everyone involved, speaks very, very highly of the program and the reaching out in partnership with other schools and other institutions to provide education to students. So very, very proud of that. Please, you should have all received it. Please read that letter. Next is a foundation update from trustee O'Hara. Do you have an update from the foundation, sir?
yep,
Gene, I think you're muted.
I couldn't get the mute to go off.
There you did.
Yes.
We can hear you.
Yes, I do have a report from the foundation, and just to start off, I think most of you are aware that yesterday was the Colorado Gives Day, and Kelly and her team have been promoting the opportunity to contribute to the foundation for the support of our students. And I'm pleased to report that Kelly and her team raised $2,146. So congratulations, Kelly, on your success.
Outstanding.
And then going on from there, you all have participated in one way or another in working with the Stonehill Group and the Foundation Board on a board development plan. And that contract with Stonehill, it will expire December 16th or next week. So as a final step, tomorrow we'll have a work session to go over the goals and measures and finalize whether or not we've achieved what we set out to do with the board development program. And we're developing board education and orientation training for new board members, and a plan for expanding our board membership from currently the 5 up to 10 members by June of 2021. So I think that the Stonehill Group has provided excellent expertise with this project, and we're looking forward to moving on and expanding the board for a variety of good reasons. So then going on, I wanted to mention that the foundation has developed a new position titled the Alumni and Corporate Engagement Manager. And we've posted that position recruitment will close January 10th. Recruitment applications will close, and we hired someone on an interim basis by the name of Kelly Zellman, who has worked out well in that position and will be a strong contender for the permanent position. So we're pleased that we're going to have that position in place here soon. Then the final item is to give you an update on the naming project that's being developed to raise money not for building the Welcome Center and so forth, but to support the College Promise Endowment. And what is being planned, and it'll be completed by January, is a tiered approach for giving levels that have been developed that go all the way from if you want to name an area of the Welcome Center or a room, or just to assure that everybody at all financial levels has an opportunity to participate in this exciting project. We've developed a take a seat segment of the project, and under which people can adopt a seat in the auditorium.
Oh.
So it'll give everybody in the community a chance to be a part of this project and make it very reasonable. If they want to do something like adopt a seat, but also a chance for corporations and other people who want to make a bigger contribution to contribute and name a room. Or it'll really bring the community into the project in a big way, I think. But keeping in mind again that this money will not go to building the project. It'll go to support the College Promise Endowment. So anyway, that concludes my report. And I've just asked if anybody has questions of myself or Kelly or Dr. B.
I do,
Okay.
Jean.
He
I would
does.
be really interested in January to see the final package that you're passing out, so that we are in the know in case we, encounter other people that we can make aware of the program. So I would love to have information about it.
Oh, very definitely.
Okay.
As a board, we will receive information, and it's just coming together. The marketing materials and the plans are being finalized now.
Nice.
So yes, there'll be much more information to come.
Okay, thank you.
No, that's wonderful. I really like that adopt a seat plan. That's a lot of seats we got. So
We do.
yeah. So was that forward thinking or what? But anyway, yeah, that'll be a great opportunity to raise funds and to get everybody in, and as Jean said, to let everybody participate. So that's exciting stuff. Thank you for that report, Jean. Any other questions or comments?
Good report, Gene.
Thank you,
Well
Ray.
done.
All right. Well, thank you, Jean. Appreciate it very much.
Mhm.
Okay, next is item 7B. Carrie, Title IX.
Thank you, Chair Oxiger. Trustees, in accordance with new federal regulations and with Ames Policy 623, Title IX Sexual Misconduct Policy, all employees and trustees are required to complete Title IX training. You have received email communications from Catharsis Productions, which has a link for the online training. For the trustees, this is available through December 31st, and I ask that you just check your email and please complete that by the end of the month. Do you have any questions?
Any questions of Carrie on that? Everybody find the invitation to participate? Wasn't that fun? Okay. So I would ask if nobody's done it to please get that turned in and get it completed.
I need a
Thank you,
link.
Carrie. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. Mark, did you have a comment?
Well, no, I need a link. I haven't been able to find it on any of my emails.
Oh,
I just emailed you here a few minutes ago, so we'll catch up on that and I'll try to get that wrapped up this week.
Okay, we'll help you with that. Thank you.
all right. Yeah, I had the same thing happen, Mark. I never did get the link that I'm aware of, so Carrie will send it. All right, next on the agenda, item 7C. Special meeting for mill levy certification on December 14th. Carrie.
Trustees, as you know, we will have a special board meeting on Monday, December 14th at noon. The purpose is for action on the mill levy certification. The meeting will be conducted via Zoom and you will receive the agenda tomorrow by email. The packet with the certification information, however, will be emailed separately as soon as it is available. And the link will be on the agenda that you receive tomorrow for the Zoom meeting. Again, I'm open for any questions that you might have.
Any questions of Carrie? Okay.
No questions, but just a piece of information. Carrie's going to be going on vacation starting this Friday. So Megan will be our recorder for that special meeting, and Carrie, as usual, has everything tied up with a nice little bow. So she'll get all that information to you before she goes. But happy vacation, Carrie.
Thank you, and thanks, Megan, and everybody for helping me out. I can do that.
Yeah, happy holidays.
Thank you.
Happy
To you as
holidays,
well.
Carrie.
Well, thank you for that. And Carrie, have a great vacation.
I will. Thank you.
Certainly deserve it.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Next, item 8, CEO President's Report. Dr. Bornstein, take it away.
Take it away. Well, hopefully you can hear me. Let me increase my volume. So thank you. This month, since we are not having a January retreat, this month we are giving you some mid-year progress reports on some strategic plan items that we presented to you in August. And so that's what you see on your agenda is we're each going to just give you some highlights on where we are, our progress. And you may recall from the retreats that we've had with Dr. Fisher, Pam Fisher, that part of the board's job is to monitor the progress of what the college initiatives are. And so this is directly tied to that. So Dr. Rothamer will start to give us some mid-year progress reports, as well as some highlights from the division, and then a little bit on course and lab fees. And we'll just go through, and you have it on your agenda. We'll go through from there. And so, Dr. Rothamer, I see you're up on the screen. Take it away.
Can you all hear me okay?
Yeah, I can.
Dr. Bornstein, Chair Oxiger, members of the board, thank you for the opportunity. And as Dr. Bornstein mentioned, to share kind of the mid-year progress report that all of the teams in academic affairs and partners across the college have been working on in terms of the 18 items on the 2021 CEO President's Goals. And the first one that I wanted to share with you, and these are all just tidbits of the work that's being done on each of these items, but line number 8 from the strategic plan is to increase degree attainment by adult learners. And one of the things that's new and we haven't shared much with you before is regarding the efforts that are being done around competency-based education. And simply put, the competency-based education is providing credit for what you know and what you are able to do, as opposed to how long it takes you to master the course materials in terms of that seat time. And this really is beneficial to adult learners because it does give them recognition for what they already bring to the table, which will ultimately decrease the amount of time to certificates or degrees. So that's one of the things that we're excited in terms of that being able to help with degree attainment for adult learners. For line number 11, which is design and implement guided pathways, programs, and services, this is a shared initiative between Dr. Weiscaver's area and my area, and Dr. Weiscaver has graciously agreed to share that with you. So that'll be something to look forward to when she's up. The next one I wanted to share with you is line 22, to increase online student retention. And one of the other things we haven't shared with you before that I wanted to highlight for you that we're looking to pilot in late spring of 2021 is the college has purchased Blackboard Ally software, which basically helps ensure, excuse me, the accessibility of our online content. And what I mean in this perspective in terms of accessibility, it's strongly related to universal design, which is the process of creating those products that are usable by people with the widest possible range of abilities, operating within the widest possible ranges of situation. So accessibility often describes the hardware, software, or other learning platforms or content designed to help those who have experience with disabilities. And certainly feel free to interrupt me as I go through these, or certainly I'm happy to address any questions at the end as well. Line 28 is to develop the leading and lagging indicators, benchmarks, and targets related to our core measures. So our institutional research and assessment team is partnering with our SACE division to start the process of developing those leading and lagging indicators via the Council for Advancement of Standards in Higher Education process, or CAS is the acronym that's used for that, and creates and delivers those dynamic, credible standards, guidelines, as well as self-assessment guides that are aligned designed to lead to a host of quality programs and services. So ultimately here, what we're shooting for is for every program and department that will have leading and lagging indicators to help explain their programs and map up to the operational core measures for the college. And it's really about, that continuous improvement and be able to tell our story about how effective and efficient we're working to meet student learning outcomes, as well as our overall strategic plan purpose. Closely related to that one is line 29, to enhance data training regarding data availability, usability, and analysis. So currently we're developing a tailored and impactful data literacy curriculum to both engage and embed our data into our organizational operations and effectiveness measures moving forward at Ames. So what we're hoping to do is our learning outcomes, our users will have a solid foundation of using data to meet the strategic objectives for the future. And we're hoping that this curriculum will be available in spring of 21 via both live and recorded modalities. Line 44, to expand faculty training opportunities. In summer 2020, our Faculty Teaching and Learning Center, for the first time ever, led a full series of summer professional development opportunities that focused on maintaining community, redesigning classes due to COVID, as well as utilizing new technologies in an online and remote format, as well as face-to-face environment. And we also continued to explore the use of equity in our classrooms. And similarly, we continued much of that into the fall of 2020 in terms of weekly professional development opportunities, again, with the focus on teaching. And I know we're probably tired of hearing it and talking about it, but a big focus on how we are successful using these modalities during the pandemic. And one other important piece that started in the fall was an online faculty peer mentoring program. And I wanted to, on lines 55, which is increased non-credit offering to complement current credit offerings. And I want to combine my comments with line 56, which is also on the goals, for re-envisioning the emphasis of the satellite campus locations. And one of the things you've probably heard about is our continuing education was realigned from our Center for Workforce Development and Innovation to our Executive Campus Director in Loveland. And this was done, to support Tactic 56, which I mentioned was re-envisioning the emphasis on our satellite locations, as well as to provide the program more autonomy in executing its mission across the whole college community. And now that the continuing education program is proud to share a similar expansion in the Fort Lupton community, which is well underway. And examples of our continuing ed offerings this fall basically fell into 3 main categories. One was programs that prepare students to sit for national certification exams. The second was personal enrichment programs to keep our community learning. And then finally, professional development programs to help upskill our community's workforce. And the last thing I wanted to share with you isn't an item on our strategic plan, but is vital to the operation of our institution. And that's to prepare our institution assurance report to accreditation for the Higher Learning Commission. And just, I know we've talked about this a few times this past year, but I wanted to give you some interesting facts about kind of what we need to do and where we are. So across the institution, teams have been hard at work collecting evidence to show how Ames meets the criteria for accreditation. And then the next step of our accreditation pathway is the assurance review, which is due in 2020. But one of the things to highlight and pull out that we haven't talked a lot about is why we collect that evidence. And basically it's to demonstrate to HLC that we have met their criteria for accreditation, and also to show that what we're doing, so the evidence of what we're saying. So to show we are doing what we say and how we're doing it, so the evidence. And to establish an ongoing commitment, and I referenced this before, to continuous improvement. And the fun fact for the day, the teams thus far have accumulated approximately 3,000 evidence documents that they're collecting and documenting for HLC. And that's all just part of the process of putting together the assurance argument. And that concludes that part of my presidential update on the mid-year progress report for the goals.
Wow, well, thank you for that, Dr. Rothauer. That is an incredible report. I just love the fact that all this is being documented in such a fashion. And when it comes time for HLC to evaluate what we're doing and how we're monitoring this, everything is going to be in place. It should be fun presenting all of this.
Yeah.
Any other comments?
I just want to say thank you. It's a in-depth report, and it gave a lot of information as where we are, especially for the accreditation and how we're keeping tabs on everything. So that's a lot of work. Thank you.
I just have to say that if all of that is put on paper, it's going to take a semi to deliver it.
Well, yeah, the work is incredible. And I have to tell you, when we started this strategic plan and talked about all of the steps and how it was divided up and how everything was going to be documented, I wondered, are we really going to be able to pull that off? And we're obviously pulling it off very, very well. So congratulations and thank you.
Well, and I appreciate those comments. And I do want to just reiterate, this is one of those projects, not only HLC, but a lot of the items shared in terms of those goals that are truly college-wide and individuals working across the different divisions. And it's nice to see how we have done that during this pandemic and remain close and work through all of that. So thank you.
Thanks, Russ.
Next item as part that's on your agenda is a yearly update for you. We do this in every December, and in your packet, several pages that listed out each of the courses that have either course fees or lab fees. And I just want to give you kind of a high level overview of some of the pieces that are in that document. So each year, the division teams led by the deans review the fees associated with the respective courses and labs. This year, the overall cost of lab fees have decreased by just over $3,000, which is right around a 2.7% decrease overall. And this decrease is mainly due to the change in some of our aviation fees. And what I wanted to do is just highlight in each of the divisions some of those areas that had some big ups or some big downs, and share with you what those are. So in our Arts and Sciences division, we did not have any change in the course or lab fees. And Allied Health and Wellness division, overall, there was an increase of approximately $435. $190 of that increase was for our Surge Tech program. And one of them, the $150 of that was for the Journal of Medical Insight subscription that allows students to watch live and recorded surgeries. So one of those pieces that they need to be successful in their area. For our Business and Technology division, there was a minor increase in one of the courses due to cost of materials. And then the decrease in aviation that I referenced before in the Division of Public Safety, Transportation, and Workforce division. So it was just right under $3,200 decrease. And that decrease is mainly due to Ames being able to remove the FAA exam fee, as Ames now has the examining authority for many of those certificates, and we can do that here, which would save the money for our students. And the other decrease in fees for aviation is due to the forethought of that division and the support of our board, as well as our administrative services team, of able to get newer aircraft. And the newer aircraft are actually cheaper to operate, so that decreased the cost to the students. So those are some of the highlights in that document that I shared regarding the summer and lab fees for 21-22. Are there any questions that I can address for you?
I don't have a question, but to know that you have broken those fees down and provided rationale for those will be of immense value if we are asked about some of these by students or their parents as to why the increase in fees. We know that information is available, readily available, so we can provide answers to those questions. So thank you for being that detailed in your evaluation of those fees and your explanation of them.
The deans and their teams do a great job with that detail, so thank you. Okay, does that conclude your report, Dr. Rothamer? It does. Thank you, Chair Ziegler. Okay, well, we appreciate it very much. Thank you for all that. Next, oh, I'm sorry, I'm not supposed to be doing this. Please go ahead, Dr. Bornstein.
It's okay. I can, you can do it.
Oh, no, I apologize.
That's okay. So Chuck Jensen, our Vice President for Administrative Services, is going to give us some mid-year review on strategic initiatives within administrative services. He'll also introduce Brad Yoder, who is our Chief Information and Technical Officer, who will give an overview on some, in a mid-year report on some of the initiatives that are within our IT department. And then as per usual, Chuck will give us our monthly budget update. So Chuck, take it away.
Thank you, Dr. Bornstein. Mr. Chairman, members of the board, happy to give a mid-year update on, a brief mid-year update on some of the strategic goals that both the facilities and operation and the fiscal part of administrative services have accomplished this year. I'll draw your attention to line 16, the construction of a master facility plan. And of course, that relates to our Welcome Center and our Student Commons. Both projects, of course, are moving along. And as I've reported in the past, our project in Windsor has started off in design. So we're making great progress. I'm happy to report that we are very pleased with the progress on both the Windsor campus and the Greeley campus projects. The next one I'd like to draw your attention to is line 26, which is the develop resources to support fiscal literacy and access. And this really pertains to the work that we continue to do as we build out Workday. As a board recalls, we went live with Fiscal and HR and Payroll Workday on July 1st. And this continues that process of building out the functionality and the reporting capabilities within Workday. The last item I want to draw the board's attention to is line 32, which is the college infrastructure and maintenance strategy or strategic line item. And particularly want to mention the work that we've continued to do on walking paths. We're near completion on the Fort Lupton campus on that. And the signage issues that we've been addressing, again, Fort Lupton and Loveland, and we'll continue to work on that as we work on the projects in both Greeley and Windsor. So again, very good progress on all three strategic line items in those areas. I'll now turn it over to Brad Yoder, our Chief Information Officer, to give a brief update on issues in IT. Brad?
Thank you, Chuck. Good afternoon, trustees. Two items to report out on for us on line 47, if I can draw your attention to there. The phone system replacement is happening and is going very well. Each month, the team has reported over 100 to 200 employees to the new system, and by the end of December, we'll have all assigned phone numbers ported over. So everyone who had a telephone number assigned to them would be ported over to the new system. We've been getting really good reviews from folks on the agility of this system, the ability to work remotely and on campus. And so that's going very well. And by the end of December, as I said, we'll have those, the rest of the numbers that are assigned to people ported over. We will then work on classroom phones, faxes, and all those other public facing systems, phone numbers that need to be ported as well through the spring. And then I draw your attention to line 48, the ERP system, which Chuck has given an update in the past as well. But the strategic plan update on that is that we're actually a little bit ahead. And the team across the college has worked very well, very hard, and they're working on the student serving portion of that project. As we mentioned before, the HCM finance piece has been done. And so we're on track, a little bit ahead, and this will continue through the fall of 2022, but we will have milestones throughout the next year that will be exciting, I think, for students or prospective students coming on board. And that's all I have, unless there are questions.
Before I jump into the budget, if there's any questions the board had on any of the administrative services strat plan, I'll pause for a moment if there's any questions. All right. Hearing none, I'll jump right into my budget report. Mr. Chairman, members of the board, you have before you the budget to actual as of October 31st for fiscal year 21. And as in the past, I don't have anything really remarkable to present. When we get to the February meeting, that's where we'll be at a point where we can start to really project out for the fiscal year. So not a lot of things to talk about right now, but looking forward to the February meeting where we'll be able to start projecting out to June 30th. And so stay tuned for that at your February meeting. But as I look through the revenues and expenses, they continue to be on track as we've talked in the past. So I don't have anything to alert or discuss with the board on the October 31st budget report, and stand for questions if board members have any questions.
I have one question. On the fees, it might just be me reading the report. On the fees, let's see, no, the state appropriations. Percent of budget received is 12%. The column next to it is 46%. Is that where we were at last year at this time, or how am I misreading this?
That's exactly how that's read. And Really, what that reflects right now on October 31st for this fiscal year at 12%, it's just a timing of when that money's been received.
Okay,
Again, I don't anticipate any issues with that. It's just the timing of when we receive that money and it gets recorded and gets on this report. So, and come February, you'll see
it'll look,
you'll see that number back up where it's comparable to last year.
okay, and that goes for, and then what about the salaries, wages, and benefits part-time? It's a little down compared to last year, am I correct?
Yeah, and I think that we're, as we've migrated to the new payroll system and things like that, some differences in timing of when information is reported. So again, come the February report, that number will catch back up to where it is, and it's based just on timing of the year.
Okay. And one other question. Sorry, I should have asked, thought of these before. The public services, I think I just need a description of what that line item is.
You know, I get asked this question every year. And I apologize. I
don't.
It has to do with one of our grant areas. I apologize. I don't have the details for that. I'll need to get that.
I could wait till February. That's fine, but there we go. Thank you.
That's all.
Thank you, Chuck. Okay, thank you, Chuck. Appreciate it. And Trustee Wendell, we will get you that information certainly, obviously in February, but then we'll give you a definition for public services too. So I see Dee Schultz is on the screen, our Executive Director of Human Resources, and she would like to give you some mid-year updates on her strategic initiatives as well. So Dee, feel free to take the screen.
Thank you, and good afternoon, trustees. For my mid-year update, due to the additional work related to COVID that we've had to undertake, HR is focusing on strategic line items 34 and 35 this year. These are our policies and procedures and updating our standard operating procedures. Primarily those that have changed due to the implementation of Workday. And this work is necessary, as Russ had mentioned earlier, for us to gather evidence for the Higher Learning Commission and to stay in compliance with that. So that's currently what we're focusing on this year. Thank you.
So just, I was going to say this later when I gave my little spiel on policies and procedures, but as you know, folks have been working on updating policies and procedures planning to do that for the whole 5 years of the strategic plan. And certainly during pandemic, we needed to reset the table and look at our priorities, what really needs to happen. Just to give you a little bit of information, Human Resources really has the bulk of the policies and procedures that need to be reviewed. I think Dee's last count was 120 of them. So yes, I saw Trustee Wendell's eyes rolling. It's a lot of work. Not all of them need a deep dive, but again, when we haven't really looked at a policy or procedure in a deep way for a while, it takes a little bit of time, especially if we're looking at sister and brother institutions and best practices and what we're doing. So Dee and the HR team has chosen to take some other initiatives, I wouldn't say off the plate, but certainly push it a couple years in order to prioritize some of the policies and procedures forward. Was that a good synopsis, Dee?
Yes, very good. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Any questions for Dee and HR?
No, other than happy holidays.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you, Dee. Also, we have Zach McFarland, who's our Executive Director of Marketing and Communication, and I see him on the screen, and he would like to give a mid-year progress report on his initiative.
Absolutely. Good afternoon, trustees. Good afternoon, Dr. Bornstein. My update is on line 50, and that's implement technology to effectively enhance information sharing and storytelling. Really in there's two main ones to cover, and that's the digital billboards and indoor monitors. We have entered into a contract with Four Winds Interactive, that's a Denver-based company, to implement their software. This does a couple things for us. It puts the management of all of our screens, so everything from the monument signage to internal monitors, into one proven interface and system. That's going to make it a lot easier for us to add and edit current content. We're expecting that to be implemented at some point in January, though we're working out some of the details now. That technology also scales to future needs, particularly in the Welcome Center, so we feel really, really comfortable and confident in the choice that was made for that vendor. The other item in this line would be the website, which we've talked about regularly over the course of the last year or so. But we're making really good progress on the website. It's exciting. From the content perspective, we've talked before, there's 10,000 pages of content that need to be rewritten. We've engaged a team of 4 contract writers. They're writing, proofing, and adjusting that content right now. We're actually looking to have the drafting of that done by February of this coming year. So we're making excellent progress on that. Cloud hosting, we're finishing the final stages of a request for proposal to move everything into the cloud. Hopefully that contract is awarded late December here, so we're closing on that. The cloud, I know, sings to Brad Yoder's soul, and ultimately that's going to increase our site speed. It decreases downtimes, traffic loads, and kind of allows us to be a lot more nimble in the future to new technology. And then the last website update is just the design element. That's the one that everybody gets excited about. We have just now finished 7 weeks of wireframing, which is really just looking at the structure of the pages. So that is all now complete, and we're in the design phase. We've seen some designs. Dr. B's actually seen a couple as well. So we're kind of working through the initial slate of designs, how we use photography, video, how we adapt that to different screens. So we're expecting to just continue to drive forward on that. Still on track for fall 21. And we continue to talk about how we can move that timeline up as quick as possible so we can start impacting enrollment with the new design. So that's my update. Certainly available for any questions.
All right, thank you, Zach. Appreciate the time.
I'd like to, if I may, Madam President, just make a comment.
Please do.
I think I said this to you, but this is for Zach. I spent a lot of time here recently because of health reasons of exploring the internet and checking on various news sites as much as anything, Huffington Post, CNN, and I'll swear to God, every one of them opened up here was something about Ames. I mean, I just got to thinking, holy cow, it's everywhere. I'm just amazed. In fact, I think I saw it on Russian TV.
No, these would be advertisements, and that is not a mistake that you're seeing. That we have recently implemented a digital marketing strategy where if you've been on our website, we have the ability to kind of follow you.
Right. Yeah. But it just everything I opened up here was Ames, so it was just very pleasing.
Happy to hear it. And thank you for letting me know.
Zach, what are some of your biggest challenges? Or is it COVID? Is it community? How do you challenges that are more difficult than you would anticipate?
Yeah, I think it's that's a good question. Right now, what's just a gut shot reaction, for an answer to would just be the complexity. The website entails every department, every division, every piece of content written, and so we're continually trying to find ways to engage all of those stakeholders so that they feel involved, and that is difficult, right? Because people typically like what they're bought into, what they've helped create. But right now, especially in this design phase, you have to kind of pull in voices and limit voices and kind of do that dance on how you engage stakeholders. You know, you can only take in so much feedback. And I think we've been hit or miss in that. You know, I think we're learning along the way. A project of this size and scope. So I think that right now is what's in my heart as far as our biggest challenges is just the level of feedback that we need to engage in, and how we want to do that, you know, can be challenging.
It's like building a skeleton is what you're doing now, and then you're putting meat on the bones. Is that?
Yeah, skeleton's built, so now it's the meat. Now it's the colors and the pictures and the design elements and how it looks, right? Which is a very subjective process. I could show the same thing to 10 people and I'm going to get 10 very different responses to that, you know. And Hunter Wilson is our web manager who's managing a lot of that. So I don't envy him. Him and I talk about that pretty regularly right now, but I think he's doing an outstanding job of you know, making people feel good and connected, but driving that project forward, because you can get locked down pretty hard in that process.
Thank you. Great job.
Thank you.
Thank you, Zach. Appreciate it.
Happy holidays.
So Dr. Weisgaver, who is the Vice President for Student Engagement, Inclusion, and Success, would like to give her mid-year progress report on strategic initiatives, and I see her on the screen. So Sarah, take it away.
Thank you, Dr. Bornstein. Hello, Board of Trustees. I want to sneak in a little bit of a highlight because it's been a long semester, and I think it would be really good for all of us. I know it would be great for me to end on kind of a good note. And I was thinking about where we are in the semester and what that means, and, you know, approaching the solstice, and really looking at, you know, the days are still getting a little bit darker, but really realizing that the light is coming back. And as we move into this next year and the light starts to come back, it's likely that it's going to shine in some places that we haven't been able to see this fall. And it's going to show us what we have done really, really well. And it's going to show us what we could have done better. The other day I saw a quote that said, we're not all in the same boat, but we're in the same storm. And I will say one of the things that COVID has taught me and taught the folks I work with is that it's allowed us to understand each other, to empathize, to see the best and the worst of our students, our colleagues, our families, and to share humanness in a way that we have never been able to share that before. So even with all of the challenges in play, I think Dr. Bornstein has done a really nice job. And she mentioned this the other day, that she's feeling really positive about spring semester. And I think I am too. And maybe it's just perhaps I'm excited to get back to my garden, but I'm ready for the light to come back and to learn how we can do this better. Some cool things to share with you before I jump into my midterm report. Our financial aid department dispersed $6.6 million in financial aid to students this fall semester. We have 431 students who have applied for graduation who are going to be receiving 661 degrees and certificates this fall. Over half of our students who should be returning have already registered for classes, and we have almost 500 brand new students who've registered for classes for spring. Now, I'll be honest with you, this is not where we were a year ago. We have the COVID factor in play. But the COVID factor, despite that, we're still doing so well as an institution. And I wanted you all to hear that, because I think sometimes we can worry and things get in our head a little bit. But it's important to focus on what we're doing really well. Also, I'm a huge Beyonce fan. So on The Queen, if you haven't watched Homecoming on Netflix, it's a really good one. So she had a quote about the new year, and it just really resonated with me. I wanted to share it with you. She said, in our perfect ways, in the ways we are beautiful, in the ways we are human, we are here. Happy New Year, and let's make it ours. So that, on behalf of the SACE Division to the Board of Trustees, is our wish for you.
Thank you.
Now,
Thank you.
on to the business of the midterm strategic plan update. I have 4 strategic plan updates that I would like to provide to you I have been providing little bits and pieces throughout the fall. So hopefully a lot of this sounds familiar. I'm glad that I had one more because the amazing work happening in academic affairs is mind blowing. And I'm so excited to be able to partner with them. One of the first pieces that we're working on is the redesign and streamline of our one-stop services. Our Assistant Vice President for SACE, Erin Prestwich, is leading that effort. And I'll remember we talked about this when we were talking about the Welcome Center. How do we change that one-stop area from feeling like the DMV to feeling like a wraparound service, more of a concierge experience? And so our team has done amazing things since last year. We've talked to other schools, we've visited other schools, we've put together a task force, we've looked at different models. I'm really excited to say that this past October in 2020, we launched what is called the navigation station, full with what we're calling navigators. And our signage includes maps and kind of that wayfinding approach for students. The navigation station is led by a new employee named Ashley Reed, who's overseen by Rachel Veretto in the Transition Center. We're doing, it's been a really fun learning process so far. Moving to the boroughs, Artie's Borough this spring is really going to help us better understand our process. And over the next year, we'll plan on establishing baseline data for those, that experience, as well as measures in order to be able to determine the effectiveness and the efficiency of really ensuring that students at the end of the day are not getting bounced around from area to area to area. They only have to come see one person to get their initial questions answered. The second area that I'd like to update you on, Dr. Rothamer shared a little bit about this with you earlier, and this is a joint project between our two divisions. It's about guided pathways and looking at the programs and services we can implement in order to be able to help students be more successful. This year, we've been focusing on really expanding involvement and increasing some college-wide awareness about what guided pathways are. Again, we have the AVP for SACE, Erin Prestwich, and our Dean for Arts and Sciences, Scott Reichel, taking on a lion's share of this work and doing so many incredible things. They have been doing great outreach, increasing awareness and making sure folks are aware. You may not all know this, but you were actually involved in guided pathways as well. Not too long ago, Dr. Rothamer asked for approval for 32 degrees with designation. That is a core part of guided pathways. So thank you so much for your support in that regard. The metrics that we will be using to determine whether or not guided pathways are effective have been established, and those include increasing the number of credits that students complete during their first year, increasing the number of students who are successful in their gateway courses, so like English and math in their first year, increasing retention rates. So if you're here in the fall, do you come back in the fall? And decreasing the number of excess courses that students take. Oftentimes students change their major so many times they end up with a bunch of credits they don't need. And so part of our work in this project is to really streamline that and help students not take those courses that will not help them move forward. And then increase the 2, 3, and 4-year completion rates. So these are, I think, as directly in line with the mission of the institution and what we tend to perceive as success for students, and are excited about the progress we're making there. Third strategic plan line item I would like to update you on is line 14. And this is to examine opportunities that positively impact the college climate to ensure inclusivity, learning, and growth spaces. So this is an area of passion for me, and I have talked to the board about it several times. So I'm going to just give you a couple highlights here. Our primary goal in this tactic this year was to launch a college climate survey where we examine the climate to better understand people's lived experiences, both students and employees, and how we can really ground our culture into the values that we have selected. I'm excited to share with you that as of The survey will launch February 23rd, and it'll be live through March 26th. Yay, that's news to everybody on this call. And we just made that decision. And through that process, there's going to be prizes and drawings for folks who participate, really trying to help people get involved. Finally, I'm talking really fast and trying to be really animated because I know you've been hearing so much information. I want to talk about line 25, which is develop and implement a college-wide retention plan. And in order to have this update, I need to back up a little bit and talk about our strategic enrollment management plan, which is line 17, because our retention plan is a part of the larger strategic enrollment management plan. So strategic enrollment management really is about identifying, recruiting, enrolling, retaining, and graduating a student body that is within the mission of the institution and the goals of the institution. But here's the kicker, is also maintaining fiscal sustainability. So this brings us way back to our work session we had this morning with Chuck around tuition rates. It's also about taking into perspective that broader environment, what's happening in our area. This is a great opportunity for us to look at what are the demographics in the Weld County area and what populations can we really capitalize on supporting and doing outreach with. I will say that being a student affairs person, I absolutely believe that retention is the bedrock of enrollment. It's the students who come back every year. You know, it's kind of like in our businesses that we run. It's much easier to keep a customer than it is to get a new customer. The same philosophy works in higher education. And so this year, I will say we're focusing, there's a group of the cabinet members who are known as our sponsorship team. They're the rowdy cabinet members. So I'll call out Dr. Rothamer, Zach McFarland, and Chuck Jensen, and me as the facilitator. Things we're working on right now is to integrate that retention plan and the strategic enrollment management plan. We're looking to design a vision, a purpose, objectives, and put together a working team. Once that working team's in place, we're going to be writing and brainstorming and doing lots of exciting things so that in this summer, our hope is to be able to bring you all a plan around strategic enrollment management for Ames Community College, which will be the first time in the time that I've been here that we have had a strategic enrollment management plan. So very excited to be able to share that with you all this summer, hopefully in person when we see you for retreat time. With that, I know it's a ton of information, but I'm happy to answer any questions you might have.
I don't have a question, but I would like to tell you we're in the nursery business, and we think that spring and summer starts December 20, on this winter solstice. So with that in mind, summer is starting December 21st. So it's good news. Yes. And I loved your report. It was wonderful. Uplifting for sure. Happy holidays.
So Dr. Weisgeber.
Yes, Chair Oxiger.
Yes, I have a question.
Oh, good.
In a previous life.
Yes.
Were you a cheerleader?
Okay, I want to know who spilled the
Oh no, I'm just going by. I mean, you're uplifting. Yeah. I love your reports.
Oh, thank you. I was
always motivated.
Yeah, I was a cheerleader in high school, and I was also.
Looky there.
Yeah, I mean, this is why I thought someone told you my
No.
secret past.
No, I figured that out evidently.
Yes, you did. Wait, we're going to have pom-poms in January. Just come on to campus.
Okay, well, that wouldn't surprise me. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Mark, did you want, it looked like you had a question or a comment or something.
I always appreciate your information. I'm glad you're excited about your retention plan. We've known that is one of the best courses to take as far as keeping students on board and onboarding too as well. And to see them come back each fall unless they graduate is definitely our goal. And we know that that's an answer to many riddles for our students. And I appreciate your enthusiasm. And Lau, you're right on there. She is a great cheerleader for all.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Okay.
Yes.
And Chuck and all in your exclusive team there. Boy, that's exciting to have a group that's going to bring this about. We want to see everybody dressed up when you do your presentation, though.
Oh, I'll get them there. I'll get them there.
Pom-poms and
We'll have them. We'll have them. They're on order now. That's not even a joke. So.
All right. Thank you, Sarah. Appreciate it. Thank you for the time.
So much.
And then for my part, as I started mentioning before, policies and procedures, I know I have the real sexy part here. So each division has been working on and will continue to work on their part of the policy procedure manual. And as you've seen in your agenda items and some work sessions, those have been moving through. However, during pandemic, as not using it as an excuse, but using it as an opportunity to kind of take a breath and reprioritize, because we just, we can't all do everything. We would like to, but we haven't been able to. While you've heard, we've been able to do a significant amount, but we did take a moment mid-fall, and each cabinet leader that you've heard from with their teams kind of reprioritize a little bit, what we called resetting the table, and made some course corrections about their plate or their platter and how much they could really take on or continue with at this point in time. So as Dee mentioned, she's got 120 policies and procedures. And while there's some initiatives she's really excited about starting and working on, her decision with her team was to prioritize those policies and procedures first and to push some of those initiatives back into the next couple of years of the strategic plan. While Dr. Weisgaber and Dr. Rothamer in their teams chose the opposite. They wanted and needed actually to do some of those initiatives first and push some of the policy and procedure research back to some of the next couple of years of the strategic plan. So just wanted you to know that we're kind of doing a little bit of course correcting, readjusting so that things can get done in the order that needs to be done with the human resources and the energy and the environmental factors that we're working on at this point in time. Nothing's falling through the cracks. It's just, we're course correcting a little bit here and there. So if you have any questions about that, I'm certainly happy to respond. I think just a last comment, certainly you heard the enthusiasm from Sarah and certainly from the other cabinet members. And I know I don't have to say this to you because you've seen it and you've all expressed it, but I think it's important in a public setting to say it. And that is, while this has been an incredible year, I'm certainly proud, and I know you are too, of Ames, of all of our employees, of all of our students, and hopefully of yourselves, because we had and we have an aggressive strategic plan to begin with, regardless of all the added nuances of a pandemic that we have no control over. And we've been able to meet it all head on. And I know you know this, but again, I want to say it publicly. Our aggressive strategic plan has small little tactical lines, but it also has some huge ones, as you've already heard. Guided pathways in and of itself can be its own strategic plan. Our facilities master plan, having our new ERP, our Workday program, all of these are one tactical line item in a strategic plan that could in their own right be their own strategic plan. So I'm just in awe of our team as a whole, of the Ames family, and what we've been able to continue on with in light of our environmental challenges. And at the same time, as Sarah mentioned, I'm hopeful for spring. I can see the light at the end of the tunnel, and I'm hoping that we all can too. So I just wanted to make that point, that you've got a great team at Ames. You really do. And I'm hoping our community is proud, because we should be. So having said all that, not to get too teary, I'd like to move on to President's Report that you have in front of you. And I know you've been listening to a lot of us talk at you. So I'm just going to ask, do you have any questions of the President's Report? Anything you want me to explain or clarify? Okay, I don't see any. Nope. Okay. No. Okay. All right.
I don't have anything.
Okay. Yep. I see everybody shaking their head. So that's good. It's clear. Moving on to the employee report. You have the employee report there. Again, under different circumstances, we would introduce all of our new employees. Once we are together, I anticipate hopefully, maybe late spring, early summer time. Maybe if we're all together, then we can just ask everybody who's been hired this last year to stand up, and we can introduce you to all our new team members at that point. So if there aren't any questions for me, I will conclude the CEO President's Report for December. This is our last board meeting of the year of 2020.
Yes, it is.
Mr. Chair, I am finished with the CEO President's Report.
Well, thank you, President Bornstein. We certainly appreciate it. Great report. We love hearing from everybody, all the enthusiasm, hearing about all of the hard work and all the accomplishments that have happened over the past year is just absolutely incredible, especially in light of the challenges that we have met, as you said, head on over the course of this year. And they haven't slowed Ames down a bit. In fact, I think we've accomplished some things that we never thought possible in a normal year. So congratulations and thank you on behalf of the board and all of the people out there in the public setting that support this college so very, very well. It's very much appreciated. And with that, I will ask for comments from other board members.
I would just like to say for my first year, I could not have wished for a better community college to join. I'm so impressed with everyone, the leaders, the students themselves, and the support that everyone has given each other over this year. And also I'd like to say thank you to Dr. B and to Carrie and to the other Board of Trustees for being patient with me and assisting my education that's going to be continuous, even after this year. So I appreciate everything you've done, and, happy holidays to everyone. So.
And I would just add that I enjoyed listening to the updates and so forth. That they're informative, they're uplifting, they're concise. It feels good to be involved with Ames and to hear these reports as compared to some of the other boards that I serve on, where in this era of COVID, the reports aren't always so positive. So great job. And I especially want to thank Carrie for all of her support and her organizational skills. That's very helpful. I've got great faith in the Ames leadership team, and I look forward to the year 2021. So that's it.
Thank you,
I guess I could just jump in here and
please
ditto several of the remarks that's already been made, and I certainly want to give a shout out to Carrie. I don't know what in the world we'd do without her. I don't care, maybe I don't know what I would do without her. I'd be totally lost. But I too I'm amazed at every meeting as to the commitment and the planning and the follow through that goes on within the organization. It's just so impressive to my way of thinking. I'm just always, as I've said several times, I'm just so proud to be a part of this organization. And the thing that just always just pleases me, amazes me, I don't know whether adjectives I could come up with, but a commitment to the students. I mean, it's just amazing. Once a student gets here, I just think that there's no way that they cannot succeed. It's just everything is pointed toward student achievement. And boy, what more can you ask for? Springtime, I guess. I don't know.
There you go. Thank you, Ray. Mark, do you have any comments?
Well, no, I want to thank everyone. I mean, we're chin deep in your knowledge for a couple of times a month, and we learn a lot, and I appreciate everybody's patience from head to stern with our redundant questions from time to time, but also it helps us get gravity and land on your thoughts and wishes and being able to help you make those decisions. And it's very satisfying to see everybody so, like, again, directly involved and earnestly involved with their passions. And that kind of bleeds over on us, and I appreciate that enthusiasm. But thank you for great reports, Chuck. I appreciate that. You know, we've been, fighting this battle of wonder. We know we have to do it, and your input, your thoroughness of what you described today was impeccable, and I do appreciate your support in giving us that information, as well as Sarah's, Russ's, Zach's, everybody in the line. You guys just, you slowed down enough for us just to grab a hold of it, to understand our winks, and I appreciate that. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mark. Well, I certainly echo a lot of those comments. I want to say what a great year it's been. When I took over the first of the year as chair, I had no idea none of us had any idea what we were going to be faced with. And it certainly wasn't an ordinary year, to say the least. And what everybody has stepped up and done in light of COVID and the transition to online remote learning and everything in the middle of all this has just been nothing short of amazing. And as I mentioned earlier, to still stay with and the strategic plan and accomplish all of that, as Dr. Bornstein mentioned, it was an aggressive plan, to say the least, and it was accomplished. And in addition to all the other challenges with COVID. So you have everything in the world to be proud of. I just want you to know that we're certainly proud of you and are thankful for the job you have done in taking the college where we as a Board of Trustees would like to see it go. It's amazing. And to Dr. Bornstein, congratulations on a great team and all of the work they've done. Thank you for your leadership. And Carrie and Megan in the front office for all of your support and all of your help to the trustees. We thank you. Sarah, thank you for being a cheerleader. Thank you all for the incredible jobs that you have done with all of your departments. I'd love to go through and talk about each one of you in this short period of time, but I just want to say thank you to all of you and know that we appreciate each and every one of you. I want to wish each one of you a very, very, very happy holiday. On a personal note, I want to say be safe out there. In March, this COVID thing started, and when this thing started out, for several months, I didn't know anybody that had COVID. I had heard of a few people. I really didn't know anybody personally that had COVID. Certainly no one that has survived. On the 18th of November, I got a fever and I got very, very sick. I got through COVID. I survived it. I survived double pneumonia. I had the viral pneumonia, I had the bacterial pneumonia, not to mention quite a few other symptoms, ended up in the ER. My wife was fairly ill. We both had it. We got through it together as we do all things. But I want to say that this is serious stuff. It's nothing to mess with. I don't ever want to go through it again. And in the last probably 3 to 4 weeks, all of a sudden, it seems like everybody I know has COVID. And it is very widespread. It's a real thing. It's very serious. So all of the precautions that we have taken at Ames for all of our people at Ames, all of our students, everybody have been hopefully very, very effective. And I appreciate the fact that we have taken those steps to ensure everybody's safety, and confident that they will continue to help us get through this. I love Dr. Weiscaver's analogy of the solstice and the light. I think that was great, and I think we can all relate to that. And I too am looking forward to a brighter light in 2021. It's been a tough year, but we all got through it together, and we'll do even better in 2021. So with that, I want to thank everybody. A very happy holiday season. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and please be safe out there. So one more thing I got to do here is assessment of the board meeting. Does anybody have any comments on what we learned, what worked, what didn't work, etc.? Anybody, any other comments?
Well, we learned a lot today. I mean, we got great reports. We were able to ask the right questions, and I will have more. Thank God we can ask questions. It makes us feel better. Heidi, you're asking great questions, and thank you. I appreciate that. It's what we do here, is we're allowed to ask questions, and that works. That makes it work, and I think it gives confidence to everyone that we want to be part of the team as best as we can. But again, we got great staff, great workers. We're very fortunate. I learned that.
Anyone else?
I would just like
Well,
I would like to say a quick shout out to Chuck, because he makes a phone call to us to ask us questions ahead of time, and that really helps me, because it's a learning process for me. And I just want to say thank you, Chuck, for your assistance. And everything's been definitely educational, and I think it's all working together. So thank you.
Yay, team. Anybody else?
See you.
Okay.
See you Monday.
Well, that's it. We will see the rest of the trustees on Monday, and we'll see all the rest of you next year.
Yeah.
So happy New Year. Meeting is adjourned. Thank you.